Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you've had an absolutely empowering week. Dr. J. LaGuardia here, and I'm really grateful to be joined today by my very good friend, Chris Koopman. And Chris and I have known each other about a part of a decade now. And Chris, there's people in your life that you lean upon in so many ways. Chris and I are great friends outside of our personal and professional, or outside of our professional connection. But Chris and I first met at an event that he was speaking at and I was speaking at. And I listened to Chris present about the concepts of wealth building, wealth eroding, and more importantly, how to look at your finances in a very different way. And he caught me when he said holistic, about vitalism as it relates to your finances. And immediately my ears peaked because he was speaking our language, my language. Chiropractic language is all about vitalism. And so afterwards, Chris, I think I basically stalked you for the rest of the weekend, picking your brain. We sat together at dinner and we realized we had a lot of things in common. And I said, you know what, I've got to align with this guy. And we started doing work together. And more importantly, a friendship has grown, and you've become a contributor to TriplePLife. And I said, when we were doing the summit, and of course, right, finance prosperity is a big part of the TriplePLife. I said, I got to have Chris on. So I reached out to you and I said, man, would you join us on our first virtual summit? And you're like, absolutely. So here we are. And you're going to discuss a little bit today about what you're going to, talk about next Saturday at the TriplePLife 2021 KickOff Virtual Summit. So first of all, hey, my friend, great to see you. You're in Vermont. You're sitting there in a t-shirt. I'm sure it's cold as hell, and you're probably going to be skiing this weekend, which I'm really, really jealous. So what's going on, brother?
I'm doing good, Dr. J. Yeah, it's we're in a good storm cycle here. It has not stopped snowing since last Thursday. So we are on day 8.
Wow, how much powder have you gotten?
I'm in the valley at my house here. So we're probably sitting on 2.5 feet here, but in Stowe, Vermont, where we ski, it's about 25 miles away. And we have a condo there. So we're there on the weekends. It's pushing 5 feet since Thursday of last week. So I had a meeting yesterday on the chairlift with a couple of clients who were also friends. So that makes it possible to ski and do some work. And yeah, we were beyond waist deep in some areas of the backcountry. So it's on right now. We're in this nice cycle of snow and it looks cold. So everyone up here is happy. It's probably, one of the few parts of the country where it's snowy and freezing and everyone's smiling.
Well, that means money for them, I should say. But
yeah.
Once again, thanks for joining us, and particularly next Saturday for the summit. You're going to be taking, a portion of your Saturday afternoon off the slopes to share your wisdom. So talk a little bit about your presentation.
I'm honored to do it. Yeah. So you kind of started to touch on it. I've been in the financial space for like almost 20 years now. And I very quickly had the opportunity to meet a chiropractor we both know and love, Dr. Janice Hughes, about 17 years ago, and started to get introduced to other chiropractors. And so I do a lot of work with chiropractors as well as other professionals, entrepreneurs. And why I bring that up is because as I was learning this kind of connection in chiropractic to the human body, and the way that most people view their health, there's a lot of similarities in finance. And so what was interesting to me is this kind of traditional mindset or traditional financial model that most people are taught to follow. And it kind of goes something like this, where, we go through life and we start to make money. We start to align ourselves with financial professionals. We align ourselves with other professionals, such as, something as simple as a bank to hold our money, Maybe we have enough money, we purchase a home, and then we need to align ourselves with a real estate agent, a mortgage professional. We may need an attorney to help with that transaction. Then we maybe start to do some work in wills and trusts, and we have an attorney for that, and we do our taxes, and we have a CPA for that. And we maybe meet an investment professional to help us with investments, an insurance agent. And what starts to happen is, as you can understand this more than probably anyone, is we're having conversations with different professionals, talking about different aspects of our life, perhaps implementing financial products with different people at different phases in our life. And the question I always ask people is, well, how many times a year do you get together with all your advisors in one meeting, kind of sitting around a nice round table, sharing ideas for the sole purpose of making your financial life more efficient? And I've yet to meet that person that says, oh, that happens all the time. So we're kind of taught to approach our finances very mechanistically, and in my opinion, through years of experience in this profession, when people are referred to me, this is our first conversation, because I don't believe that most people are positioned to make intelligent financial decisions. And it's not because they're not intelligent enough, it's because of the way that we're taught to go about it. So that mechanistic mindset is approaching all of these different aspects of our financial life in their own individual silos, and the way that I like to view my finances personally and help and coach my clients in their financial world is to take a step back. And wouldn't it be more beneficial if we could perhaps look at everything more vitalistically, more holistically? Because we all have these areas in our life of protection, assets, liabilities, and cash flow. And you cannot make a financial decision that does not impact one of those 4 domains of your life. So my experience has taught me that we should be considering all of our financial decisions in a more holistic manner, that we can understand how does this decision impact those 4 domains. So when you can get to that point where you actually have what I call your financial architectural blueprint, where you like, much like an architect would use blueprints to build a house. Well, we want to get to a point of having that blueprint so we can now make sense of all of our past financial experiences and what we can accomplish going forward. So once you understand that framework, and you can get to a point of looking at your world more holistically, now more intelligent conversations start to unwind, because we can start to examine, well, how do we go about creating wealth, and what interferes with our ability to create wealth? And I think that most people jump the gun to look for a solution or a product without first identifying what's wrong, what might be surfacing in your financial life. I almost think people go too fast, and it's exciting to want to create progress. But in order to make that progress, we have to first understand what's holding us back. And so, what I'd like to share next Saturday is some of the eroding factors of wealth that interfere with our ability to create sustainable wealth, and to then be able to pass that wealth on for generations, if that's something we want to do, and leave a legacy of significance. So when we understand these obstacles that we can't control, that might be threats to us financially, we then can begin to take a different course of action to help mitigate some of those risks, so that we basically control more of our personal economy. And that's the name of the game. How do I build my personal economy and make sure that it is bulletproof from the eroding factors of wealth?
It's a lot to digest. So often we look at our financial blueprint, if we have a financial blueprint, as you mentioned, kind of in parts and pieces, and not integrated into a larger concept.
Yeah.
And my concern has always been is that, as you mentioned, it's not a lack of intelligence that people experience. It's a lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Because schools really don't teach us and prepare us how to build and create wealth, how to manage money, and how to set ourselves up, not just now, but into the future and generations beyond ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes people gather their financial intelligence from radio shows or other sources. And I know this is a button for you because we've had this conversation and there are different philosophies. And what really resonated me with your message is it's one I've never heard before, but it made the most sense of anything I've ever heard before. And so the concept of expanding your financial intelligence to have more of a broader approach and to be able to be more tactical in your strategies is really what you're talking about as far as expanding that intelligence and being more intentional with your long-term goals. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. It's about being efficient, right? We could approach things in many different ways. We all probably have the most common financial goal, which is we want to one day have enough capital so that capital that we've saved can take over, so that if we decide that we don't want to contribute to society by means of work, whatever that means for you or for someone else, and we want to just, maybe relax more, travel more, spend more time with our family, well, we have to have enough capital to provide us with revenue streams, income, so that we could live our life, right? So if that's the ultimate financial goal, then how do we approach that in a more strategic mindset, right? It's not about this product is better than this product. It's more about, you and I talk about golf a lot, right? And it's that same analogy of the golf swing. And that golf swing is a way to transfer our energy through the golf club to hit the ball. So it doesn't matter what golf club I have in my hand. In fact, look at this thing right here. I brought this to my golf club this year. This is when irons were called mashy. This is a 6-iron. Look at how thin this is.
Wow.
This is a wood shaft. I got this from an antique shop. I looked it up. It's from 1936.
Wow.
Okay. So I took this to my golf club this year. I pulled it out of my bag on the driving range. I started hitting balls with this. Everyone's looking at me. And I'm not the best golfer. I can hit a golf ball. I know how to effectively transfer that energy. And my point is that I hit this 6-iron the same distance that I hit my 6-iron today.
That's crazy.
So it's not the golf club. It's not the financial product. It's how do we utilize these financial instruments that we all can own in our life more intelligently? And how do we position these financial instruments so that they work against these eroding factors of wealth? And the best part of all of this is we all have a choice. A lot of people tend to promote financial guidance in a very mass prescribed way.
Yes.
And I have a major conflict with that. So just like when you were in your chiropractic profession, I'm sure that you probably did not approach every human being that came in your office exactly the same, because we're all different, right? So I have a conflict with promoting this mass prescribed financial intelligence to everyone as if it's appropriate for everyone. So the name of the game is efficiency, and it's understanding what are the threats that are coming against us constantly financially, and how do we be the most efficient and tactical with our money decisions, with our money mindset, so that we can advance and propel our wealth in the most efficient and effective way. And I'm going to touch on Saturday more of what those eroding factors are, and actually give an example of how they can crush our wealth without us even realizing it. And once you have that awareness, then you can take a step back and say, okay, I understand what I need to be working against. Again, in the golf club, a golf swing, if you don't know what you're supposed to do to transfer that energy, you could sit at the driving range all day long, and it's going to make you more frustrating than anything.
Yeah. Well, the first time you and I met on a professional level, You mentioned to me, say, Jay, at some point you're going to want to stop working for money and let your money work for you, so you can enjoy the kind of lifestyle that you had mentioned earlier that you want to live and experience now and in the future. So it's not something I have to give up now, right, to project later, because a lot of times either later doesn't come, or there's health issues and you can't enjoy the wealth that you've created, whatever the case may be. And then so many people right now are concerned, there's a new administration, how's that going to affect my wealth, new policies, et cetera, so on and so forth. But you said to me, Jay, it doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter what the policies are, their policies. There's always ways, if you know how to take advantage of those, to continue wealth creation and take advantage of other aspects that are available. So what I'm trying to say is people don't have to get wigged out, because there are ways to continue moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, change is always going to happen. And I think if you acknowledge that we can't control these aspects outside of our personal economy, tax laws are going to change. There's going to be new presidents. There's going to be new administrations that are going to put in new laws. We can't change that. Interest rates are going to change. These things are constantly moving. So what I try to teach is, well, let's get smart about it. Let's acknowledge these threats and then come up with strategies or solutions, and have more of that solution-driven mindset rather than a product-driven mindset. And in the bigger hierarchy of the financial space, this institutional financial space that we live in, these institutions manufacture financial instruments for people like you and I. And we have access to the same financial instruments, and most people in our country do. There's just a way to understand what might be appropriate for you or me, and how to use those instruments to our advantage versus the institution's advantage. Okay, so it's acknowledging that things are always going to change, and once we acknowledge that, then we can dive deeper and get more strategic about how to create a defensive strategy against that. Right? I always tell the story of when I played lacrosse, and our coach would say that defense wins championships, and that's the truth, because you could have a great offense, but if you don't have a good defense, it really doesn't help. So for me, in my own personal economy, it's about being very strategic and defensive, and understanding how to really shift the conversation about money, and not be a victim to things that are always going to change.
Yeah, I love that. And I think what people can take away from that is, with the knowledge, with the right people, you can go forward with confidence and certainty that, you've got the right vehicle, the right strategies, the right solutions in place, and you can sleep well at night, right? That's what we all want to do when it comes to our money. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So Chris, thank you. I know, the content and the quality and the value that you're going to deliver next Saturday is going to be over the top. So listen, guys, if you haven't yet scheduled and registered for the virtual summit next Saturday, January 30th, please do so. I will add the link below in the comments section where you can go and schedule. It's $97. That's per computer. You can have your entire team, your organization, your family. You want to teach your kids some wealth building and strategies, or just what money is about. Sometimes it's hard to have those conversations. That's a great time to join us. And like I said, you'll get a recorded of the webinar. You can go back at any time and re-listen, or if you missed the presentation, to go back to listen. So the link is TriplePLife.com/kickoff 2021. TriplePLife.com/kickoff 2021 to reserve your seat for only $97. Like I said, next week that's going to go up. So reserve your seat now at the lowest price. So Chris, thank you so much for your time, buddy. I appreciate you. Can't wait to have you join us next Saturday. And I know you're just going to kill it.
All right, Dr. J, great being with you today.
Same here, buddy. Thanks again.
Take care.